The reason why so many of these top tier men use prostitutes is because
this man is nothing more than a glorified novice. You know, whether you use a $20 prostitute or a $5,000 prostitute, they are doing it for money. And the quality of the interaction is going to be that. Someone who's doing something for money. Why do they say mom's cooking is so much better? Because she cooks it with love. What does that mean? Because she is doing it, she's standing in the kitchen, she is cooking that food, putting the finest, freshest ingredients in it, because she wants to do it for the love of doing it and for the love of people, her children, that are going to be eating it. No matter how you paint a woman who does it for money, and let me clarify, I equate the ones who are married, girlfriends, and everything else in a dating environment included in that doing it for money category. Because despite what you might believe or what you're told, they are doing it in exchange for something. In exchange for you marrying them, in exchange for you making them their fiancé, in exchange for you taking them out to dinner and shopping for them, in exchange for you for moving in with them, etc., etc., etc. However, as I've said before, there is an avenue. There is a way to get women to be with you intimately. We are now talking about intimately. We are talking about carnal pleasures. There is a way where women are doing it for the sole reason of satisfying their sexual needs. There is a reason, there is a place, there is an environment, there is a situation where that occurs every day, all over the world. In some places more than other, in some places more readily accessible than others. Yes, granted, absolutely true, but there is. And once you experience that, it's like once you experience first class travel, once you experience quality steak in Buenos Aires, Argentina, once you experience the service you get in a restaurant in Tokyo, Japan, nothing else really will impress you, and you cannot help it, because you've already had the best. Your brain has experienced that. Your body has experienced that. You cannot. Once you see the light, you cannot go back into the darkness. And once you experience a woman who is being with you sexually, now we are strictly talking about an intimate, bodily pleasure experience. Once you experience that, nothing else will satisfy, because no matter how much a prostitute like this guy, this novice guy who doesn't know any better, he doesn't want to mislead you. He doesn't know any better. He talks about, lawyers who make $1,300 an hour go to prostitutes because they don't want to deal with the drama and the potential losses of dealing with the marriage and everything. Yeah, all that is fine and correct. But even those lawyers who are making $10,000 an hour, even people who have several $1 million in their checking account might not be aware of such a thing being available, because they haven't experienced it. Don't assume. Do not make the mistake of assuming just because someone has a lot of money, they're aware of everything. They're not. You have to be inquisitive. You have to be able to try different things to see which one is best. I have lost count of how many very, very, very wealthy people I know that are simply not aware of certain things. And when I tell them, they say, wow, I didn't know that. I did not know that. Because you learn something from everyone. And so don't assume some lawyer who's making $1,300 an hour. I know people who have 10 of these lawyers on their payroll. That's nothing to them. Nothing. They don't know that there is a way, there is a place, there is a situation that you can go where women come there strictly to satisfy their sexual needs. And after the interaction is over, they don't want to have anything to do with you, because it is all about satisfying their needs. For some reason, they're not getting it at home. Their husband is impotent. They are too busy at their work, and they are too high ranking at their job that nobody really wants. They don't have the time to attend to that. They don't have the time to go online and all that stuff. They don't want to expose themselves. The reason is not important. The fact is they come to these places. They come to these places for one reason and one reason alone. You heard that movie? The guy doesn't walk on a car lot unless, he wants to buy. A guy doesn't put on a condom unless he's ready to have sex. So they come there for that, and you are there to service them. And one day, when the time is right, when the situation is right, I will reveal to you what these places are. As I said, in some places, depending on where you live, it's more easier to access than others. But they are everywhere. In some countries, they are far more prevalent than other countries, but they do exist and they can be easily accessed, easily. For now, all the best.